Sometimes in life you just have to admit you're wrong, you made a bad decision, and you judged too soon.
Well, hands up, I did just that, because this camera, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, is incredible.
Sometimes trying to find the balance between content creation and what technology to use is difficult. We're fed information every day about getting better kit, being sold the dream camera or lens, but sometimes you just have to use what you've got or what you can afford. And I'm a believer you can create content with any camera on the market today.
So when this camera, the Pocket 3, was released in 2023, I dismissed it. Friends sent me links to it, telling me to get it. This looks awesome, they said. But the previous versions of the Pocket hadn't really gripped my imagination. I've got the FX6, the A7S III, the A7 IV, and even the ZV-1. So what do I need another camera for? Well,
I guess technically I don't, but sometimes there's a device that does in fact capture your imagination, and I really don't see this as a vlog setup, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I eventually noticed this with the Sony ZV-1. I was late to the party with this device, but I'm now a massive fan and I can see what that camera can do. And I've shot for the BBC with that camera on multiple occasions. I've used the camera for interviews and podcasts. So the lesson from this is never underestimate what a camera can do.
But I'm so surprised I'm saying exactly the same thing about the Pocket 3, and I genuinely don't think there'll be enough time in this video to explain why.
So part of the reason why is how this camera was marketed and also how it was demonstrated here on YouTube. It may have just been me, but people on this platform mainly demonstrated this as a vlogger tool. Lots of videos telling me specs, but I didn't really see anyone use this to make what I would create. TV style features I've spent much of my career making.
But it kept on popping up on my YouTube and Instagram, but one of the game-changing features I noticed was the way it integrated with the DJI Mic 2. And I thought, on location, filming an interview, we could potentially fly under the radar and have professional audio integrated into one tiny system. But would that work?
So then the creative juices started to flow, and there are many reasons for this. Making TV productions can lead to having lots of kit. And if anyone has seen my sets over the past couple of years, they're growing by the minute. There's kit everywhere, and I love it. But shooting content as a one-man band most of the time can be energy sapping. Camera placement, the lights, microphones, and then being the presenter as well.
Believe me, even with my experience, it's a lot to take on. So when something like this comes along and it can streamline creative projects, then I'm all in.
The number one thing that really amazes me with the Pocket 3 is its picture quality.
Right, can I just break in here? One of the incredible things about this camera is that it can shoot 4K 120. 4K 120? Are you having a giraffe? Why wasn't more made of this? A camera of this size can shoot 4K 120 and it only costs around $500.
So with this knowledge, I thought to myself, now if that picture quality can be used correctly, I'm sure it would be good enough for editorial YouTube projects, and it can cover most tasks. One of the key elements to a feature these days is the picture that you see. If you're not distracted by poor picture quality, then you'll go along with the story. And these pictures here just prove its worth.
One of the downsides to this system is that it doesn't have a zoom lens, so you're restricted to 20mm, but I'm okay with that. I'll work around it.
I did try and shoot with the digital zoom once, and as you can see from these shots, the picture quality gets mushy, so I would advise you steer clear of this.
But before we go on, here are my top 5 settings to get the best out of the Pocket 3.
Number 5. Shoot in 4K, you have the ability to, and if you need to crop into the image, you can do this in post. 4. Turn the sharpening down to -2 and the noise reduction to -1. Cameras of this size rely on sharpening and noise reduction by default. An over-sharpened image is not very attractive and is an issue with most smartphones. Number 3. Shoot in D-Log-M. This will give you the cleanest image possible, and it's also in 10-bit. It means you can grade the footage after, and it will look similar to that of mirrorless cameras. Number 2. Remember the 180-degree shutter rule. So double your shutter speed to get the best out of this camera. So for example, 25 frames a second, use a shutter speed of 1/50. For 120 frames per second, use a shutter speed of 1/240. Number 1. Take advantage of the variable ISO settings. Because of the form factor of this camera, it's not easy to change the ISO value on the run, so there's no extra buttons. So once you've set your shutter speed, set the variable ISO between 50 and 400, and in lower light conditions, 50 to 800 tops. Follow these simple instructions and you'll be on the right path.
So how do I see myself using this camera? Well, there are occasions when I just need to start shooting and get the story in the bag. And on a platform like YouTube, we have the opportunity to be experimental and creative. The Pocket 3 fits that rather well.
I did a shoot at Box to Box coffee shop in Manchester just to put the camera through its paces, and I was blown away with the results. So go have a look at this video and see what you think. The link is in the pop-out banner and also in the description, or you can go and have a look on my channel. I shot this feature in 4K 25 frames a second, and the slow-mo was in 4K 100 frames a second. And in terms of storytelling, I managed to tell it in the way I imagined. The main part of the video was an interview with my friend and Box to Box co-owner Shelley Unit. The audio was captured and transmitted on the Mic 2 and recorded directly into the Pocket 3, so that was dead easy. The wide shot was from the Insta360 X4, then the B-roll again shot on the Pocket 3 with the photos taken on the Sony A7 IV. So probably the easiest of shoots I've ever done. Check out the results and see what you think.
But one of the downsides I did notice was with some of the B-roll. Because the camera is so light, there is very little resistance and there can be camera shake, because when you hold larger cameras, your arms compensate and cause resistance to keep the camera steady. But with the Pocket 3, the lack of weight can strangely be an issue.
As you can see with these shots, the subject in the foreground is moving quite a lot, and this is less noticeable in slow motion, but it's something to consider. You could even add a little bit of weight to it if you wish, but then you're just adding a lot of bulk.
Like most things, we'll just have to work around this, and I guess there's just no pleasing some people.
Anyway, getting back to the use cases for the Pocket 3, I have another channel here on YouTube called Pabs Media, and that's my sports content platform. Here I speak to athletes from a range of sports to tell their stories through interviews. So when I decide to go on location, at times I aim to use the Pocket 3 as the main camera. You utilize that with the magic of the DJI Mic 2 combo, and we can record reliable audio as well. I'll create other videos showing the results of this production type, and we can see if it works or not.
Just to say, the idea of getting video and audio all in the one place without adapters and in this small form factor is what we need more of. Great job, DJI.
I plan to make more videos about this camera as a creator tool, so we'll revisit this, but I think we need more devices like the Pocket 3 as all-round creative solutions.
Yes, this doesn't have a zoom lens and you'll have to work around that. And as I just mentioned, the lack of weight can sometimes cause problems. But for around $500, this is an absolute steal, and it's something I fully recommend.
But as this is a first look at the DJI Pocket 3, there is still time for me to have a change of heart, but I somehow doubt it.